me if it causing.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a very special, late but still here episode of Council on Future Conflicts. I'm the Watcher, and I'm joined by a technically glitched out main host, Scott. Welcome, Scott.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I swear to God, I'm gonna try.
Hey, this sounds better. That one sounds way better.
We'll see how it goes.
And I'm also joined by Mr. Joe Dolio. Good morning, Joe.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Doing fantastic, honestly.
Oh man,
yet another day, yet another CFC. And look, listen to what they say in the chat here. Let me pull it up. I assume if there isn't a CFC airing, shit has hit the fan.
my live studio audience today is a very large buck right out the window. So
yeah,
I was just watching him and seeing how good he's going to look on the wall next to the others.
So you were saying that there's a whole little family out there, right?
Yeah, there's this buck now, but there are also two does and two fawns, just literally right outside the window. So it's a Montana morning. So
that's beautiful, man. I'm jealous. That's gorgeous. And welcome to all you chat. Thank you so much for being here, even though we're late. And thank you real quick to Low Key LARP for gifting members. We really appreciate you, man. As you guys can see, the main topics today are going to be Chipocalypse now and the liberation of London. Question mark. Do they have it in them? We shall see. But before we get started, as always, I think it's time to go to odds and ends, and we have some doozies for today. Scott, this first one, you actually know a bit more about. So do you want to take it?
Oh yeah. This is the Japanese deal. So yeah, so the prime minister of Japan is a fucking moron, and one amongst the many things that he's done that were, I guess, not landing well with his constituency was decide he's gonna hey, we need to not be all racist and stuff, and we need to import workers from countries that need to export workers, and that generally means Central Asia and Africa. And the Japanese people were not happy with that, let me tell you. Unthrilled would be the way I would describe it. And, he has, Japan is the last country where shame is still alive and well. And due to that shame, he has decided to step down. And the leading candidate to basically replace him is this based female nationalist. Now, granted, let's be honest, Japan's got some serious demographic problems. They are challenged in the birth rate department, just like many other countries are. But Japan and South Korea are amongst the worst. And they need workers. So it'll be interesting to see how they solve that problem if they're not going to import them from other parts of the world. My guess is what you will see is with all of these burgeoning humanoid robotics companies, you will see Japan be the first place to truly kind of embrace humanoid and kind of in the world robots. And they've always been ahead of that curve, right? But I think this is going to push it from being something that they like to fetishize a little bit, the whole robotic fetishization, to into like they need the robots. It's like they can't do it without them. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that he's not Shinzo Abe, and that's been the biggest problem for people in the post Shinzo Abe era, right?
Yeah.
Darn big shoes to fill, and it's just a tough thing, man. They can't make it. They can't fill those shoes, and I miss the guy. His loss was a loss for the world, and man, I don't know. Japan's got issues. They got to work through them.
He was one of the few politicians that seemed to understand how to like talk to Trump too. So he was able to get the best out of the man. But you're right; those are big shoes to fill.
The best photo out of that era is Shinzo and Donald Trump standing up, and everyone else sitting around pleading with them. Right?
That's exactly right. It's like all the European leaders are all like they're holding court.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the other interesting thing about this, at least as I saw it, I was unaware that the Liberal Democratic Party has essentially had control of Japan since World War II. I don't know why, but I always sort of figured that most countries were like ours and that they had multiple parties and that they sometimes waffled between them depending on who's doing a good or a bad job. But no, apparently it's been Liberal Democratic Party rule since World War II. With like a couple of very small regional breakout exceptions and nothing else.
Well, I don't know if that's exactly the right way to put it. I think it may be one of those kind of things that rather than having distinct parties, they have like essentially factions within the government, and those factions have very, very different ideas.
Gotcha. So it's too big of a tent to really be a party. It's just kind of everybody's on board. Gotcha. Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Japan deals with this. One of the questions, I think probably the biggest question and just kind of asked immediately is, why is having sex so hard? Well, it's not turns out that it's not actually the having sex part that's the hard. It's the having the babies part that's the hard. So, yeah, and a lot of that has to do with us incentivizing people differently. Turns out humans are animals that respond to incentives. Who would have guessed?
Well, it's the funny thing is that like so many things, people have to choose to give up one thing to have another, right? And so, to that end, people are just not willing to give up like the time in their 20s, to have kids. Oh, I need to have more money or, whatever. And in Korea, the biggest thing is, oh, well, it's too expensive to have kids. Okay, great. Just wait till you're 37 and see how easy it is to have kids then, which is exactly what happens. And they end up with one kid. Like that, because or they only get one kid because that way they don't have to get a bigger apartment or a bigger car or whatever.
Right.
And so there's all these kind of I think industrialized rich people decisions not to have kids, and then but on top of that you do have some big social problems that plague Western countries and industrialized countries, really is a better way to put it. And so it's not just a one country problem, it's a modernity problem.
It is, but South Korea is certainly, at least by the statistics, suffering from it harder than anybody.
Oh yeah, South Korea is the worst. I think the worst in the world. The birth rate is now like 0.89.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Wait, are you saying unfettered and unrestricted abortions is harming society?
Yeah.
Joe, I wish that was the problem here in South Korea, because then you
That's
could
not
say,
it.
oh, well, that's something you could just stop doing. The problem is kids are not deciding not to. I mean, adults are deciding not to have kids. They're choosing other things.
Yeah, there's an actual like open movement among women called, I think, 3Bs or something, to just not have anything at all to do with men whatsoever. It's interesting. Anyhow, speaking of South Korea, we did have some interesting South Korea related news today, guys.
Is this the?
Yeah, it was a whole ass international incident.
Watcher, we lost your volume, by the way.
Uh-oh. Okay, let me see if I can fix that. Better?
Yes.
All right, cool. So yeah, like I said, it became a whole international incident. South Korea is irked at a U.S. raid at a Hyundai plant and announces deal for detainees' release. So there's a few interesting things about this before we get in. Like, we're not going to dig too deep into the actual article itself. Most of you have seen it. I'm going to pull up the video because it is entertaining. I will say, South Korean illegal immigrants do seem to have better, shall we say, cardiovascular exercise skills than your regular run-of-the-mill came over the border from the South immigrant. You know what I'm saying, Joe? Have you seen this yet?
I guess I could barely hear you, but I think that what's interesting here is that our supposed strong ally, South Korea, had more than 300 people here illegally and working in one of their plants. How does that happen?
Yeah, and specifically all South Koreans. That's the so they're trying to make us believe, or at least the word on the street is, oh, it wasn't Hyundai itself. These were guys that were building the plant. It was the contractor Hyundai hired. Hyundai has nothing to do with it at all. It's just those contractors have very lax hiring standards, which is why none of them were Mexican or Nigerian.
They just happened to find all the Koreans,
correct,
who have all these fairly technical skills, by the way.
Correct.
Yeah, it was an LG battery plant. So
yeah, it's a joint venture between LG and Hyundai Rotem, I think. And the interest here's what I think happened, and I think this is probably fairly accurate. They basically decided that either A, it was just easier to have Korean people, build the plant, or B, there was a deal, like some sort of a deal behind the scenes. But ultimately, like, they basically stood up the contractor in the U.S. I think what you're going to find is almost all these guys are tourist visa overstays. They just flew over as tourists, and then they basically started working the job. Hyundai probably knew exactly what was going on. This is the absolute corporate corruption that you see every day in Korea. Go ahead.
I mean, they would have had to have knowingly filled out an I-9. In order to fill out the I-9, they would have had to have seen whatever documentation they had, which would have shown the visa overstay, right? And they'd have been absolutely required to do it. I think it was a bit much for Homeland Security investigations to show up in Bearcats, but it looked great on TV.
I think that was the point of it.
I was waiting for someone to say something.
I understand, but once again, I don't cheer on the over-militarization of law enforcement.
I think the strongest, I don't know, explanation for the heavy-handed response by ICE was there were 600 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of people, and you know you never know what might happen when you show up to try to arrest 600 people. Uh, I you know.
Why is that woman hiding from ICE?
Great question.
Oh, she's from a South American illegal. Ah, okay. So you're going to hide from the federal government but broadcast it on the internet, which you know is monitored by the federal government. Nice.
What are we
That's
looking
one
at
of
here?
those
I
very
can't.
highly skilled technical workers you were talking
Scott,
about. Yeah.
Scott,
Yeah.
what you're looking at is extreme hide and seek. 6 hours. Almost the grand champion.
I
Yeah,
guarantee
that sounds
she
like.
worked in the cafeteria, 100%.
My favorite is her bedazzled safety helmet and her bedazzled badge. Those are
But
just...
guys, here's the crazy thing. I drive past the Samsung chip factory that's under construction, and all of these people that I've seen on these videos look exactly like the workers that work for these construction companies that are here in Korea. So I really think there's something that this is more of a corporate corruption story, I think, than it is really illegal immigration. I don't think any of these people probably were going to stay in America after
Yeah.
this. I think this was an opportunity for them to make money and then get a good job when they came back to Korea. That's what I think. But I mean, I could be wrong. There's, it's just one of those kind of things. This is just how it sells.
Suspiciously to me, like I was just selling drugs while I was in college to pay for class.
You know, the other thing this sounds a lot like
Or I
is,
was I was a hooker.
well, I'll be honest. Let me open another angle on this that I would not be surprised that ultimately we find out is true. And that is that, hey, you know how in all the Belt and Road Initiative negotiations, they explicitly have little carve-outs that allow only Chinese nationals to come and work on the project? And no local contractors whatsoever to be allowed to work on those deals for a number of reasons. Wouldn't it be interesting to find out that a certain past senile administration who was ran by basically anybody who could show up to the meetings decided to cut a little backroom deal to the Koreans when they negotiated said EV battery plant? Saying,
I think that's exactly what happened. I'll be honest with you. I think this was a deal between the Biden administration, or maybe not the administration, maybe like some bureaucratic functionaries within the administration who also probably have fatter bank accounts now. So this is the reason why I think if you tackle this from a corporate and government corruption kind of angle, I think there's going to have a lot bigger legs.
Well, add to this the intended plan in Michigan that was defeated by voters and outcry. The Goshen plant that was going to be added in Big Rapids, Michigan, where they were going to house the Chinese workers in state university dormitories, allow a Chinese Communist Party office on the property and all that. That's the same thing. And it's because of the corruption, and I'll say it, the corruption of Governor Whitmer. They had a vote. The citizens voted against it. She said, I don't care. We're going to do it anyway. But she eventually had to stop when people started raising these issues of, well, why can't Americans work in this plant? And what benefit is it going to give the local economy if we're going to give them government housing and they're going to work for a Chinese government plant? What does that do? And they're paying no taxes. What is that going to do to support the local economy? And the answer is nothing.
Hard facts. Hard facts. That all gets remitted. All right, guys. So, speaking of government corruption in the crumbling state of America, let's talk about a place we don't usually talk about in those contexts, but Houston, Texas. Beautiful place, lovely people. Muslims telling you if you don't run your business the way they want you to, they'll kill you.
Assalamu alaikum. Muslims, right? MashaAllah. You know, as a merchant, you have every legal right to sell whatever you want. But as a Muslim, I have a responsibility to educate the people and let them know that as a Muslim, you shouldn't sell haram. That the alcohol, the pork, the gambling is all against Islam. And so I'm just letting you know ahead of time, in about 30 days, we're going to start doing demonstrations around the city. The Muslims that have businesses with haram in it will let the people know that we have to teach the people the best. The Muslims have the best. So let the owners know you should begin to change the inventory, or we're just going to demonstrate. We can't stop you. You have a right to do it, but we have to give the dawah to let the people know the truth about Islam, okay? Okay, so get the haram out of your store. May Allah bless you. I love you for the sake of Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
I imagine
It's apparently a shorter cut because there's a longer. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I imagine it's very for those native Arabs who are native speakers of Arabic. For him to come in as a non-Arab with his terrible Arabic, it's not salam alaikum, it's assalamu alaikum. And then to throw things in their face to try to say, hey, me as a convert, I am more Muslim than you. I imagine that's quite a slap in the face. And this guy has been going around doing this for a while, and he stated that it'll be protests now, but later on you could get harmed or even killed. That's a terroristic threat, and he has not been charged with that.
Wonder why.
I don't wonder why, and it has everything to do with these political overlords.
Chat's saying yeah. So South Houston is a little Indo-Pac cove. I guess you're trying to say like a. Oh, what do you call that?
It's colonization, but it's okay because it's not white people. So
yeah.
You know what? I'd like to see what this actually turns out to be. In all honesty, I've had a lot of conversations with some of the Muslim store owners around Detroit, and some of them feel that it's part of Islam's overall strategy to use our own addictions against us. Right? That's why they run liquor stores. Destroy us from within by continuing to sell us things we don't need. But it's not up to this guy to decide what these people can and cannot sell. And I would challenge that those guys might say they're Muslim, and you might see them on prayer on Friday. That's about the most Muslim they get, much like most Christians in America, right? You see me on Sunday, you see me on Easter, you'll see me on Christmas, but Monday through Saturday, I do whatever I want. Just Sunday, I go to church. Same way in the Muslim world for a lot of these guys, especially the guys who run liquor stores.
Yeah, Joe, the most famous example of using our addiction against us is the Taliban and their cultivation of opium poppies and the control of the opium trade. I think at one point they had 90% of the opium trade, as far as international market goes. So yeah, this is part of the Muslim playbook going way back. Here's the other thing too, Joe, you know this probably as well as anybody. Like the Muslims basically say, oh, anybody can be a Muslim, and anybody can be a devout Muslim, right? And so you've got like Americans becoming Muslims, and you've got British are famously becoming high-ranking people within ISIS. But the interesting thing is you always have the kind of the descendants of Muhammad, right? Basically, some are more equal than others within the Muslim faith. Yeah. This is where the protectors of the holy sites and all that kind of stuff comes in. It's almost medieval in the kind of,
Well, and they have as much of a class structure as the Indians do, because ask a Saudi his opinion of a Yemeni. To you and I, they look almost exactly the same. But to them, don't you dare compare us to those dirty people, right?
Yeah,
And,
100%. 100%.
very big on that. So.
Well, all right, that brings us through the odds and ends, which means, as always, it's ad time. Joe.
Powers of Tactical Wisdom. This weekend, I had a nice group of folks here learning radio, but it was old folks learning radio, so it went exactly as you might expect. But it was a good class. People learned a lot. They got out and actually practiced using the radios in the midst of a thunderstorm, so that was good. I've got a couple of openings still in a couple classes. The community security class in late September here in Montana. We've got some openings. And then I've got just a couple more seats left in Fieldcraft in North Carolina. My last appearance on the East Coast for this year. So you might want to get on it and get in there. Get your Djibouti into class.
I tell you, if I were in the country, I'd be in that class. That's
you were part of the plan for being out there, but you're not going to make it. But you can see guys like Be Prepared in the chat, and I'm sure there's a couple others in the chat who are going to be there. I think Jay Bjornson is going to be there, and a few others will be there. It's going to be a great class and a good time, along with hanging out with me and Matt and Angry American at Mountain Readiness. That's going to be pretty solid. A lot of good.
Are you going to get your pound of flesh out of Angry American for?
Oh yeah, I actually already have that because
make culpa.
We actually had a chat about the event here next summer, and T from Mountain Readiness goes, "Yeah, Chris said he's going to be there." I'm like, "Yeah, Chris has said he's going to be there for 3 years running now." So
That says a lot of things.
Good luck. So. Anyway, and Doc, I see that you're in the chat. Just so you know, Doc, I ordered extra copies of the first aid book because you're so outstanding at selling that for me. So I'll expect a little help with that. But go check out the schedule. Sign up for that September 26th to 28th Community Security Ops class here. Hey, and if you're one of my alumni from Community Security Ops, we could use some OPFOR if you want to come and just hang out. And then October 21st or 23rd, we're going to do some fieldcraft down there. I'm going to use Chris. Be prepared for my OPFOR for that, and it's going to be a good time.
You know, the other thing to remember, you might as well go ahead and drop the date. And I want to keep reminding people, like, at least one kind of big push every month between now and next summer. The event for next summer in Montana is on the calendar already.
Yes, it is July 26th to the 28th. It is going to be a massive event. You need to get out here and hang out with us.
Yeah, 100%. You need to get out there for that. And you'll be able to do things in Montana that you can't do other places, right? I mean, Joe's got access to land and resources out there that just, let's be honest, your brush beater wishes he had Joe's backyard.
Right? And listen, when we go shooting at 4 a.m., as we frequently do with brush beater, our neighbors don't call the sheriff because we don't have any neighbors. and it's perfectly okay. And listen, that whole week, July 18th and 19th, the guys from War Lizard Tactical are going to be here teaching their defensive pistol. And then I'm going to fill that week, the 20th through the 24th, with classes, whether they be by me or Kay or whomever else. And then we'll roll into the Mountain Readiness event, and we'll probably wrap a couple classes on the end, too. So there will be tons of opportunity, and this event is going to draw a lot more people than what you've seen at Camp Ponderosa before. So,
Joe, you've got some unique kind of draws that you're going to have showing up for that, but you're also going to have just some great kind of, I guess you could call it marketing kind of opportunities between now and then to really get the word out. So. It's not going to be like previous ones where Joe is kind of like helping other people. This is Joe's baby, and let me tell you, it's going to rock. So I'm looking forward to it.
And there'll be not only will we bringing in big national names, but a lot of your favorites from previous ones will be there. Like Brent from Project 223 will be here, and It's just going to be a good time. Come on
And
out.
then there's going to be a good
to
representation.
emigrate back into Montana. There was an incident. He might not be allowed back, but we'll see.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. There was no incident. I just saw him pop in the chat. I thought I would harass him.
Joe, the other thing, this will be like probably the best opportunity for us to get a lot of your favorites from CFC out there too. So we need to start kind of pumping those individuals for commitments to get out there. I'd love to get to meet people in person I've never got a chance to meet before.
So be prepared. You guys might have had an incident with the sheriff's office during your night operations class. But did you have a bear make a timely appearance in the middle of yours like we did here? Matt's like, you can use thermals to detect living things. And he looks up towards the ridge to his thermal. He goes, like that bear. Anyway.
That's hilarious.
Good times. And remember, you were here, Scott, the night when we actually heard a mountain lion go right by the camp. So
yeah.
It's good times.
Well, was it the family of Wolverines that were out in the road?
Yeah. They did a better break contact drill than any other creature I've ever seen.
Oh, man. Well, Scott, do you want to try and deliver an impromptu brush beater ad?
I don't have a script for today, but I will say that if you're not seeing the crossover between the things that are happening in the world and the services and equipment that our good buddy Brush Beater provides, I can't help you. If you don't see it, then I can't help you. I know if you're listening to this program, you're probably already on board. So just make sure you check out brushbeater.com. Anything you buy there, $100 or more, you get free shipping, and use code CFC10 for 5% off, and put a little bit of that back in our pockets. So we appreciate you.
I'm also seeing here, as soon as you started, I just checked my email, and I have 2 shipments from the Brush Beater store out for delivery today. I have a 1 to 10 LVPO. And I have the 3 to 18 scope coming today as well, along with some Kyber Optics gear like a flag and some T-shirts and everything. So good stuff. We're going to be testing that out, and we will talk about it on the show.
Well, all right then. Like you said, folks, get on over to brushbeater.store and use code CFC10. All right, guys, time for our main topic, which I don't think there's any 2 people better qualified to introduce it than the ones I have ready for us on screen. So first of all, there's the president on his own social media platform, Truth Social, saying, "I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago's about to find out why it's called the Department of War." Chipocalypse now.
By the way, it is now war.gov, I believe, is the current website for.
I as long as we're going there, I think my favorite meme for that is, "Hey, all you veterans, guess what? Now that it's the Department of War, your DD-214 is no longer valid. Show back up and skip to pick up your gear."
Yeah.
I don't know that running a country by meme is really the best way to go. And honestly, these things here, like this, it's funny, but it is just causing domestic turmoil that we don't need.
Yeah,
I tend to agree with you. I think governance through meme is not the most effective way. That being said, I do think this is a change that I support. I've supported it for a long time.
No, hold on, though. I get the enforcement operations, but saying Chicago is about to find out why it's called the Department of War is unproductive.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, there's no need for that.
Necessary.
I will say it furthers my theory that his whole goal is to cause the leftists to fly off the handle. I'm not saying that's the correct thing to do or the right thing to do. I'm just saying that as far as predictiveness, I think that is the way he's going. I think it becomes more obvious every time he does something like this. But Governor Pritzker was unamused. He says, the President of the United States is threatening to go to war with an American city. This is not a joke. This is not normal. Donald Trump is a strong man. He's a scared man? Illinois will not be intimidated to be by a wannabe dictator. Okay, so I have to address a part of this that doesn't make sense. He's afraid that you will keep murdering each other in your city, which is geographically far enough away to not be any physical concern to him.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like a good socialist never likes to be told how to suck an egg, right?
Yeah.
The thing that I'm more interested in is not the political leadership, because I mean there's absolutely zero surprise in any of this to me, how they're responding. The thing that I find interesting are the lowlifes in Chicago who are like, "Oh yeah, bring it. You guys don't know what the hell you're doing."
Yeah, we'll get there. But I like the other kind of lowlifes, and Trump did respond to them, by which I mean reporters.
Good.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. Sorry, I didn't know you were trying to talk.
Well, there's a $5 from Random P&W that I would like to address that goes to what Scott just said.
Yes, give me just a moment. I got to pull up Rumble. Sorry, it's taken forever.
Well, I could do it.
Go ahead.
Do you think the gangs in Chicago will lay low or try to pick a fight with the National Guard? I will point out that after the Oakland earthquake and during the disorder that followed, the gangs there opened fire on active duty U.S. troops. So, yeah, I think they will try to pick a fight. To them, it's just another gang on their territory. And they will. It'll be silly and it won't go well. But I think they will pick a fight. Chicago is not like Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. Doesn't necessarily have the street gang problem that Chicago does.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and Joe, you know this as well. I mean, Michigan's probably the same way. I mean, not Michigan. Detroit's probably the same way. There are entire areas of the city that it's just like, it's complete anarchy almost.
Yeah, cops don't go there unless there are like 10 or 15 of them at a time. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, real quick, Trump gets asked, "Are you ready to go to war with Chicago?"
You say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why
I
would
don't
the
go to
Department
war.
of Defense?
Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
That's why you're second rate.
For every dumb thing he says, he absolutely nails the media perfectly.
Yeah. He's a good clapback king, but man.
So as Scott was intonating earlier, the locals are a bit restless.
Trump, do not send the National Guard to Chicago, gang. Do not, I repeat, do not do it. We are a different fucking breed out here, nigga. We are not Los Angeles. Nigga, we are not Washington, D.C. Nigga, this is Chicago, nigga. Them niggas go fight back.
I'm sorry. I can't not let this go without comment. Like, this guy was like, "Alright, I'm gonna make a video to address the president. What should I wear? Alright, my most intimidating t-shirt for sure. My Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees shirt. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah." Like,
listen.
what?
For all of his threat to run up on people, he ain't running up on the street corner. Okay? Bro.
I don't think he's gonna run on anything.
I think I know his street name. Oh, that's Earthquake for sure.
telling you, them niggas go fight back, gang. Whatever, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Them young niggas got switches, gang. They not going for that shit.
Oh,
bro.
they go.
I know what y'all finna say. It's the National Guard. They can't do anything about it.
I mean, you look like you have a Switch, but not the kind you want everybody to think it is. The kind you play in your basement and your parents give you cookies, bro.
They must go in Chicago. Nigga, do y'all know that it's more bad people than good people, bro? There are over 100,000 gangs in Chicago by the city by itself, gang.
No, there are. 100,000 gangs. Shut up. No, there isn't.
Every man a gang, every man a gang, Joe. Every man is his own gang.
Well, it's like what was that one man gang? You know the wrestler.
All I hear is Warriors come out to play.
So the locals are also restless in other ways. So this was I want to say Saturday, the 6th. Yeah. So this was a protest against ICE that took place along the waterfront. And I will admit, there's a lot of people there. Just got to wonder how many of those people would be there if, ICE was also there.
It's Chicago. I mean, it doesn't surprise me they're able to mobilize a lot of people against government action. It's not exactly surprising.
Yeah,
true.
The other thing, I mean, they've got a long history of kind of action against social organizing, community organizers. Don't we know a community organizer got his start in Chicago?
Okay.
Yeah, I know of one, and his dollar store replacement's been running his mouth ever since. CLM actually drops out the deep lore. Excuse me, stewardess. I speak jive.
I speak jive.
Classic line from a great movie.
Oh no, that's one of those movies that so many young people have not seen that.
Well, they would have a stroke if they saw that movie right now, right?
It was an apt time for you to bring
like
up
the subtitles when he was speaking jive.
It was an apt time for you to bring up that comedy relief, because I also dropped an article in here purely for comedy relief real quick. Chicago man ordered detained after sheriff's police find pistol with laser sight.
Gas.
Are you ready to see this dangerous?
What am I looking at there? I can't even tell.
That's not a laser sight. That's a laser pointer attached to a pistol.
That's barely a pistol, too.
A 22?
If that is a magazine, then it has to be 22. But this is from a shotgun. So I don't know if this is like something somebody makes or if it's home modified, but it's like a 22 that's made to look like a sawed-off is what that is.
I like how it's got a sling loop on it. And it's 4.5 inches long total.
I'm hearing this is a Ruger Charger. I gotta look this up.
Wow. I don't know why that has a laser on it, because it's probably accurate to all of a foot and a half.
Okay, are you guys ready to see this? Wow. Hold on. Yes, I'm 18. There we go. The Ruger Charger.
Looks like, yep.
You gotta be kidding me. What the hell?
Barrel off of it. Oh.
That's like the only. It's a useless gun that is made more useless by his modifications.
Yeah, I like this, Carvaggio. Carrying that should be a crime all by itself.
Look, man, at this point, if you get caught with one of those, they should take it out of your hand and issue you a yeet cannon. All right,
a YC9 for sure. Like that is
significantly more respectable.
Get out of here, kid.
That's them 22 Magnum, Joe.
Oh,
wow!
All right. So, Joe, you gave us this one, but I think this is just photos of that same protest, right?
Yeah, just some images. I just wanted y'all to see the quality class of people that's out there. Well, it's over for Trump because there's a sign that says Trump must go now. It's over. He has to now resign.
Oh, well, I mean, if that's the case.
Rejecting kings.
Put a brace on it. I bet it gets into No. No, I'm done. Sorry, Chad. I got to move on. Some of these are great. Yeah, no Nazis, no kings. That was a good one. Ice out of Chicago. You got to assume that whoever's doing these is a professional printer.
One dude was like, "Oh, I thought we were just protesting to get a Coast Guard ice cutter on Lake Michigan." My bad.
Well, I mean, it definitely kind of goes to the the idea that there's definitely money behind all this stuff.
Yeah. Scroll down while we're talking about it.
I will, but real quick, I just have to ask, with all the people putting chai for Chicago, does this make ordering an iced chai a political statement?
No.
Iced chai.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about that, Watcher. I think you're going a little too far.
Listen.
Yeah,
you think that? I'm betting that here in not very long, the leftists are going to start going after each other for that. Watch.
I mean, look at this. These people are like obsessed with this man, and they want him to be Hitler, but he's just not. But that was actually funny. The Tarred Reich. That was actually funny.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. Oh yeah, the turd Reich.
Tarred
yeah.
Reich.
The Tarred Reich. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Fight for immigrants for workers' benefits? What? What?
Workers' rights.
Or workers' rights?
Yeah.
Those two things are diametrically opposed.
They are diametrically opposed, yeah. And then we got the watermelon flag.
Yeah, I will say that has been a very, very common theme in Chicago.
Interesting.
Yeah. Fun stuff. Let's see. And then last, oh shoot. Hold on. Did you get an archived version of this NYT? It's alright, I can get it. So last, Trump is walking back some of those comments. We saw the video, but also apparently the New York Times has a little more about that. He's walking back his threats to Chicago, saying he wants to clean up the city, although I'm pretty sure he said that the entire time. Apart from
he's just saying that he's not going to war. It's the same story, but that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I think Joe made the point in the beginning of this that probably sealed the whole thing, which is, memes are great. They probably aren't a way to run a country, though. I agree. It's all fun and games and stuff, but if we actually kick this off, this is going to be a terrible time for everybody. I don't know.
Well, the sad thing is that everybody's thinking, oh, well, National Guard, we're going to get the National Guard. No, what you're going to get is a bunch of bus drivers that are National Guardsmen driving buses as the ICE goes in and the federal law enforcement go in and just arrest metric shit tons of people. And I think the National Guard are going to. They're not going to be doing the show of force type thing. I think it's going to be mostly administrative and support roles and whatnot. The kind of stuff that we've talked about in the past is absolutely appropriate for the National Guard. That being said, if the National Guard do some kind of show of force kind of things where you got a MATV or something like that parked and somebody starts shooting at it, ultimately the National Guard aren't going to be carrying weapons. They're not going to be armed because there's no posse comitatus ruling that's allowing them to do law enforcement. So it's ultimately going to be the cops, the local cops and the federals that are going to be defending them and fighting back. So I just don't. I think this whole National Guard thing is a red herring, honestly.
You'll probably see military police deployed to government buildings, but that's literally.
I agree with that. Yep, federal buildings, things like that, because they have, if I remember correctly, Joe, MPs already have law enforcement rights on federal property and things like that, right?
Yes. Yeah, they do. If they're under federal orders, so yes.
So it'll be interesting to see how this goes down. I haven't seen anywhere that they've publicized orders to actually do it, though. It all seems to still just be posturing. Am I wrong?
I haven't seen.
Yeah, I have not seen a single bit of news that said anybody's actually being deployed or has received orders or is even being worked up to deploy. At this point, it still sounds like all posturing. I think it'll probably happen, but I don't know when. What do you think, guys, this week? If it's going to happen this week or what?
No, I think it'll just wither on the vine. It'll be out there. It'll twist in the wind a little bit, and everyone will argue about it while other things go on.
Well, there you have it, folks. We'll watch Chicago with bated breath and probably watch nothing happen.
What you're more likely to see is a deployment of federal troops to Caracas.
Yeah. By the way, Joe, did you like the picture of the 82nd guys where they said Marines getting ready?
I lost you in there.
Oh yeah,
did you see the picture of the 82nd guys that people were the poster said Marines getting ready to deploy or something like that?
Oh,
or
yeah, I was like, there's not a single Marine in this photo.
So I did hear that the MEU that's down there, elements of it are were this last week using Puerto Rico as
they were
amphibious landing practice. Which
the place to watch, though, in all honesty, is Aruba, because on the south side of the island of Aruba is a Dutch Marine base that has seen some interesting air traffic and some interesting sea traffic in the last 12 to 14 days. That's going to be a forward staging base for whatever goes on. And the fact that the Dutch just deployed a whole bunch more Marines there and French put some more on St. Martin tells you everyone's anticipating something down there.
Well, and as long as we're bringing it up, it's not in the show notes, but y'all saw that there was massive GPS jamming all throughout the Caribbean, basically the whole weekend.
Yeah, I actually thought that meant something was about to happen. But what I'm thinking now is it came the day after we threatened the Venezuelan Air Force. So I think we got word that there was Venezuelan aircraft about to take off. So we decided to make their life more difficult. And then they decided not to take off.
Yeah. The other thing I think they're doing with that is conditioning, right? And so one of the things that you do in electronic warfare is condition whoever it is you're targeting with electronic warfare and signal, like not just GPS jamming, but also signal jamming. And then they get used to that, and then all of a sudden they kind of lower their guard, and then you hit them.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing that China's doing to Taiwan, as we've talked about many, many times. All right, well, let's move into our second topic today, which is going to be London. UK more broadly, but yeah. Arrests at rally against Palestinian action rise to 890. Joe, you brought us this. So what is the rally against Palestinian action? Joe?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Oh, you're good. I think you're the one who found this story. I'm not sure exactly what this protest was. The rally against Palestinian action. Is that a pro-Palestine rally?
Palestinian Action is a group that was banned after those people broke onto the Air Force base and damaged the materials that were going to the Israeli Air Force. So they've been banned. They held a big protest, about 1,700 people, and the police arrested 900 of them, which I thought was pretty surprising, them to actually arrest pro-Palestinian protesters.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So a majority of the arrests were for supporting a prescribed group under the Terrorism Act. Huh. Very interesting. The organizers said protesters were peacefully denying the ban. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, Palestinian Action literally committed a terrorist act. It's not really even a question. They, in fact, themselves uploaded footage of themselves committing said terrorist act. Seems pretty open and shut to me, Joe.
It's pretty crazy. I'm actually quite surprised that they arrested them for supporting terrorism. It's interesting to see the change in the British government position on pro-Palestinian movements post-Maya incident, right? No, seriously, like Keir Starmer changed in a day, right?
Yes.
Because the public outcry was so big. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now, too.
Well, and that was a perfect segue. Thank you very much, Joe, for our second story, which is an update on a previous story, one that we covered weeks ago. Brave Scottish lass is vindicated as authorities finally arrest the man who harmed her sister. So, the Bulgarian migrant has been charged by Scotland police with assaulting a minor. That would be...
Let me interrupt, though. Bulgarian, whose name is Fatos Ali Dumana. So,
yeah.
Muslim.
Also, he's Muslim, and he also, on social media, claims to be gypsy. Which, okay. There's a lot of weird things around this, right? Girl became a flashpoint for the UK and its and its problem with illegal immigrants. So, here's one of the craziest things about this to me. This guy, Basil the Great, a lot of people have been accusing him of like making stuff up, or like, hey, why do you have the story when nobody else does? Turns out he is literally the only soul on earth who reached out to those children's family for a statement.
I mean, so if I could kind of cross the streams a little bit, you're seeing a lot of that, right? So this girl has this huge moment. She's clearly in trouble, and nobody cares, right? Okay, then you've got this stabbing in America, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, like, when you search for that girl's name on, in the New York Times or whatever, there's no hits on her because nobody's covering it.
Yeah, I saw this weekend. It pointed out exactly this. Everyone knows about this situation because, oh my God, here she is terrorizing the poor immigrant man. But nobody saw the video of the immigrant woman being killed by the feral street thug on the subway.
By an urban savage.
Now, what's really interesting, another one here, is that the Scotland police at first told us that the CCTV footage was missing. It was unavailable. Now, remember, their entire excuse for basically wiring every square inch of every town in the UK up with CCTV footage was so that they could solve crimes like this and it could finally be taken care of. Well, when it came time to draw from it, it was mysteriously missing until public outcry grew loud enough. It turns out that yes, in fact, this young girl's older sister was thrown to the ground and had her head kicked in to the point of concussion by this migrant and his wife, quote, quote, or sister, quote, quote. Neither is very clear what she poses as depending on the day.
Could be both.
It could be both. This was a follow-on incident that happened, from what I understand, days later. Utterly insane. The girls had been reported missing, and had not like that. So much of this is still really unclear what's actually happening, because there are people on both sides trying to kick up false stories, right? But here is the hospital incident of when she got sent to the ER with a concussion.
Well, here's the thing, too. The rumor is that this guy is actually a pimp, and these girls were kidnapped and taken into his stable. So
Yes. Which, I mean, I wonder why anyone would think he's a pimp. It's not as if he himself on social media multiple times has posted pictures of rolls and rolls of bankroll money saying, I earned this off of British girls. When people
Is that
tell you who
true?
they are, yes, it is. When people tell you who they are, believe them.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it is literally unbelievable that they are letting this. I mean, so this is like this is almost like a complete separate problem from what they've got going on with their whole kind of Central Asian Muslim problem, right?
I don't think it is. I do not believe that it is.
I mean, let's assume
I think
this guy's a
Bulgarian
gypsy.
man is probably a Bulgarian man in the same way that all kinds of Houston man or Idaho man turn out to actually be Colombian man who moved here and happens
Well,
to reside here right now.
if he's a gypsy, it's just that's a separate problem. But the point is that there is the consistent thing that I see is that the British powers that be have no interest in protecting British people.
Not until the outrage grows to a point where they literally fear blood in the streets. Make no mistake, that's why Keir Starmer flipped overnight. England is legitimately, it seems, gone from 0 to 60 in the, oh boy, wouldn't it be better if this government just didn't exist department, seemingly within the span of about a week.
Well, but here's the thing. Keir Starmer hasn't really flipped. He's just kind of doing some kind of short-term things that make people happy, gets it, kind of gets the news down, and then, and then he can go right back to doing what he's always been doing.
Certainly. Yeah, that'll depend on how the British people respond to this, right? The other thing is, Brits, listen, I mean this deeply and sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Look about you to those in your society who immediately jumped to the defense of the abuser. I'm not going to tell you what should happen to those people, but it certainly shouldn't be that they just get to go on living their lives as normal for the rest of forever. There should absolutely be consequences.
100%.
So, final story. Let's see. This is from Fox, and I actually haven't read this one, but I know the gist of it. Oh, sorry, Joe. You want to take this?
I'm sorry. Which story is that? Oh, this one here. So the British continue their absolute crackdown on free speech. And it doesn't matter who's in charge. Both sides do it. Most recently, this article is about the comedian being arrested and how it was just as simple as saying that a man is not a woman and that was worthy of being arrested. I get it. There are cool opinions to have and cool ones not to. But the last and most basic freedom right you have is the ability to think how you want. And to criminalize that is absolutely Orwellian. They want to tell you how you should think, and that's the entire point of these cases. You shouldn't be thinking that men can't be women. You have to think they can be, and it's absolutely crazy. As many reforms as there have been over the last few weeks, the UK is still UK. It is still fallen. It is still bad. It's almost like we fought 2 whole wars with them over these issues, right, of our ability to be self-determining, including in our own thoughts. And that's kind of where this all comes from.
Well, Joe, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that monarchists go to how would you? It's just an authoritarian place, right? And it's not because like I don't have a hatred of monarchists, right? But
No, it's just the
monarchists are
thought
literally
process.
they are literally they have a thing, right? And that is the one person in charge.
Well,
and,
they make some concessions, and they're bound by those concessions, and there's some really inescapable, terrible negative consequences of those concessions that they want to simplify the process of government. And that's ultimately that's what I view it as. Like that's why people want monarchy, because it makes it so much more simple, right? Then we can only have these people to choose from, and that narrows it all down.
Well, you don't even have to choose from them. I mean, you have these people who just will make decisions for us because let's
Right.
be honest, they're a better class of person. I mean, that's monarchy in a just in the simplest form.
Yep. I could not disagree with it more, and yeah, I'm happy
You
to
you
see
you
that it has
did
all
you
but
you
died
think
off.
you could disagree with me more? I mean,
No,
I think you meant
I
to
could
say I could
try.
not agree with me
I
more.
will try. I will try. But yeah, I'm happy to see that it appears to be dying off as a ruling philosophy. Oh yeah, the king certainly bent the knee. The king appears to be. I listen. I mark my words. If he lives long enough, he will convert. I'm telling you now.
Oh, I don't think he'll live long enough. I think the guy's got 5 years max. And I think he's on borrowed time at that.
Yeah.
Communists are building a turnkey system from the left returns to power in the U.S. It's going to get ugly when it inevitably happens. We're pretty much the only holdouts. Yeah, that's how I'm seeing things. Well, hey everybody! I want to thank you for being here. Thank you so much over on Rumble to those of you who donated today. I saw that many memberships were gifted by Low Key LARP, probably in service of his own what do you call that? OCD, trying to make sure
Yeah.
all of the names are the same color. I appreciate that OCD a lot. We appreciate each and every one of you who showed up today. Looks like we have excellent numbers. Thank you guys so much for sharing it out over on X. Joe, I can't wait to go read what the hilarious rhyme of the day was.
It's actually pretty good. You have to know
Yeah, I'm
some
sorry, guys. I'm
weekend.
sorry. I'm having the technical difficulties here. I just,
Yeah. It's not your problem. It's for those of you curious. Scott woke up without internet this morning, so he's cell phone only.
Well, I wouldn't say I woke up without internet. It was something that developed here late in the afternoon, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't even notice it until like about 2 hours before the show, and I was like, wait a second.
Gotcha. But yeah, so we sure as heck appreciate you all. Thanks for being here, and go ahead, Scott. Tell them.
Stay safe.
Yeah, we'll see you.